When we think of the largest animal to ever take to the skies, one name almost always comes to mind: Quetzalcoatlus. This pterosaur, with its giraffe-like height and wingspan stretching nearly 35 feet, has dominated popular imagination as the undisputed king of flight. It's been called the aerial titan of the prehistoric world, a creature so massive that it defies belief. But here's the twist: while Quetzalcoatlus was indeed among the giants, it wasn't the largest flying animal to ever exist. That title belongs to another less famous, but even more impressive creature, Quetzalcoatlus. Let's start with Quetzalcoatlus because it deserves its reputation. Discovered in the 1970s in Texas, this pterosaur belongs to a group called Uzdarchids, known for their long necks, huge wings, and toothless beaks. Standing as tall as a modern giraffe and weighing perhaps 250 kilograms, Quetzalcoatlus pushed the limits of flight. Its wings were long and narrow, perfect for soaring across ancient landscapes, using air currents to conserve energy. For decades, it was considered the largest flyer of all time, but paleontology is never static. New discoveries continually challenge old assumptions, and in this case, the spotlight shifted when researchers began examining fossils from a site in Transylvania, Romania. There, they found the remains of another Uzdarchid pterosaur, Quetzalcoatlus. At first glance, it seemed similar to Quetzalcoatlus. But closer inspection revealed something startling. Quetzalcoatlus wasn't just large, it was even more massive, and its anatomy suggested a very different lifestyle. Unlike the slender, long-necked Quetzalcoatlus, Quetzalcoatlus had a shorter, stockier neck with incredibly robust bones. Its skull alone may have been nearly 3 meters long, armed with a beak strong enough to tackle sizable prey. Its wingspan is estimated at 36 to possibly 40 feet, making it slightly larger than Quetzalcoatlus. But more importantly, its bones were thicker and stronger, giving it a sturdier frame. In other words, Quetzalcoatlus wasn't just gliding on thermals, it may have been a powerful, land-stalking predator capable of launching itself into the air with devastating force. Imagine a creature larger than any living bird, with a head longer than a human is tall, striding across the plains of late Cretaceous Europe. The Hatset Basin, where it lived, was an island ecosystem filled with dwarf dinosaurs. While most dinosaurs there were small due to limited resources, Quetzalcoatlus bucked the trend, standing as a true apex predator. Fossil evidence suggests it could snatch prey the size of a small horse, lifting it with its enormous beak before swallowing it whole. The sheer size of Quetzalcoatlus challenges our understanding of flight itself. How could something so heavy take off? The answer lies in the unique adaptations of pterosaurs. Unlike birds, which rely mainly on their hind legs for takeoff, pterosaurs were quadrupedal launchers. They used their powerful forelimbs as catapults, vaulting into the air with explosive force. Combined with their lightweight but strong hollow bones and vast wing membranes, this system allowed even giants like Quetzalcoatlus to fly. For years, scientists debated whether animals of this scale could truly sustain flight. Some argued that giants like Quetzalcoatlus and Quetzalcoatlus were too heavy to fly at all, suggesting they were more like giant storks that stalked prey on the ground. But most evidence points to a hybrid lifestyle. These pterosaurs were terrestrial predators capable of taking flight when necessary, whether to hunt, escape danger, or travel long distances. Their wings and muscles were simply too specialized to be purely land-dwelling. This revelation reshapes how we view the skies of the late Cretaceous. Instead of a single aerial giant ruling the air, there were multiple contenders, each adapted to different niches. Quetzalcoatlus soared over the vast inland seas of North America, gliding for miles in search of carrion or small prey. Quetzalcoatlus dominated its island ecosystem in Europe, using brute force and stealth to hunt down dinosaurs and other vertebrates. Both were extraordinary, but Quetzalcoatlus edges out Quetzalcoatlus as the true heavyweight champion of the skies. To put this in perspective, the largest living bird today is the wandering albatross, with a wingspan of around 12 feet. Quetzalcoatlus had a wingspan 3 times that size, paired with a skull bigger than a lion's body. Even the largest flying mammals, like giant extinct bats, don't come close. These pterosaurs weren't just big, they were evolutionary extremes, pushing the boundaries of what flight could achieve. But there's something even more fascinating. The existence of creatures like Quetzalcoatlus raises questions about the upper limits of flight. How large can a flying animal truly be before physics makes flight impossible? Aerodynamic studies suggest that Quetzalcoatlus was near that threshold. Its adaptations, lightweight skeleton, efficient launch system, and enormous wings represent nature's ultimate experiment in size and flight. Beyond that, the mechanics would no longer work. In many ways, Quetzalcoatlus was the absolute ceiling for flying life. And yet, despite its size, it likely wasn't invincible. The end of the Cretaceous, 66 million years ago, brought catastrophe. The asteroid impact that wiped out the non-avian dinosaurs also spelled doom for giant pterosaurs. Their large size made them vulnerable to sudden ecological collapse, and when food chains broke down, they vanished. In their place, only smaller birds survived, eventually diversifying into the avian world we know today. So while Quetzalcoatlus will always be iconic, the true largest animal to ever fly, wasn't it? That honor goes to Quetzalcoatlus, a stocky, terrifying, island-dwelling predator with wings wide enough to blot out the sun. It was not just a flyer, it was a monster of land and air, an apex predator that redefined what was possible in the skies. Today, its fossils remind us of the extremes evolution can reach, and how much of prehistory still lies hidden, waiting to be discovered. The skies of the past weren't just home to birds and insects, they were ruled by giants. And among those giants, Quetzalcoatlus soared above them all.